The turbulence in my life continues, forcing me to set new plans in motion. One of them being to reawaken Cthulhu, or at least a story about Cthulhu. My name is Martin, and this is my weekly progress log for reaching my 4 creative goals before I reach 40. So in the past week, the turbulence in my life has continued. It's a mix of being somewhat surprised about how things are turning. It's partially frustration for the situation and also a sadness. And all those feelings has kind of caused a lack of peace of mind. So school is kind of secondary right now, and it might also be so that all that's happening right now might force me to quit school. So what I'm doing instead of school right now is trying to set things in motion, and it's kind of stressful and sometimes pushing my comfort zone, but it might turn out great, being forced to do stuff that I had planned to wait a little with. So we'll see. One of the things I set in motion is that I made contact with Swedish television this week with an urban fantasy story I've been thinking and writing on for quite some time. I think it might be kind of 2 years old. About Nordic beings and creatures living in the city, having been forced to escape from environmental issues in the forest and nature. But I got the answer, and it seems, from what I can understand, is already a few of these kinds of stories going on, but they encouraged me to send in other stories, so I'll think about that. Otherwise, I guess the main creative thing that has happened this week was that I had a meeting with the animators of Clay Station, which we have been working on a project called the Cthulians for over 2 years also. The Cthulians is a clay animated horror comedy about 3 nerds that find a way to get in contact with other dimensions. We worked on it a lot and got money to develop it from different sources, but we never got money to start production. So the project has been lying dormant, kind of like Cthulhu, kind of like Cthulhu in Relie. But now when we heard that there's changes going on at the Swedish Film Institute, it was a good idea to look at the script again and see what we can do about it, and kind of took a decision that we at least should make it shorter. But then we also started to discuss the theme, and something really interesting grew out from the discussion. I think the big change was that we're kind of removing the big story arc and I guess parts of the character arcs too. And this comes from me being inspired by the workshop last week, where one of the points was that a short film that is shorter than 15 minutes, it's too short to really have character development in any in a greater sense. You can still have development, but it has to be simpler. And I think this might be one of the issues with the script. We're trying to cram too much together into too little time. But we can keep the characters that are super, and the world with all the monsters from other dimensions and stuff. So I think this can become really, really good. So the upcoming week, I hope that I can spend some time with the emo thriller script. I guess things are kind of settling down. They are still disturbing, but at least I kind of know what to expect. And I guess that's the most important thing, to be able to sit down and focus. I will also make a pass on the Cthulians, making a new rewrite, making it shorter, like 5 to 10 minutes, focusing on the theme being to like rock the boat, if that makes sense, and also making it more gory. So this week's one cool thing is a movie, and yesterday I went to see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the new movie by J.K. Rowling set in the Harry Potter universe. And I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I really enjoyed it. It's based around this book, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, in the Harry Potter universe, written by Newt Scamander. And the movie is about Newt coming to New York with his beasts. And there's something wreaking havoc in New York. And at the same time, we're getting closer and closer to a war between humans and the wizards. I wasn't expecting that much when I went to see it, but it was a great experience. I think Rowling really knows how to build great worlds. The creatures, I find them very, very well designed, both as a concept and in the movie. And the characters are all very likable. So it might not have been the best movie I ever seen, but it was a really nice movie experience. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you do, give me a thumb up. If you have any comments about what you want me to talk more about or less about, just write it below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to continue to follow my journey in reaching my 4 creative goals before I reach 40. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.